Okay, I have to admit, I've told this story before, but I don't care. It's from St. Augustine, and I love St. Augustine. And I remember the first time I read his material, I was in high school, loved him so much, I took him as my confirmation name. And something he said just hit me like a ton of bricks, and so I know I've repeated it. You don't have to tell me, and I swear to God this will be the last time I'll ever tell you this again, unless it comes up another thought. But St. Augustine, I liked his morality where he puts things in the category of good, better, and best. And at one point in his writings, he says, what's so wrong with premarital sex? What is so wrong with it? It's natural. God gave us a desire. What's wrong with it? And he says, now as an old man, I know. And you have to know St. Augustine, early Christian, and before he was baptized, he was extremely promiscuous. And then later, he did fall in love with this woman. He loved her tremendously, never married her, but lived with her, had a child. He died when he was 13. So he said, passion is good. What's better is passion and love. And he said, I had that. But the best in life is passion, love, and commitment. And he said, I never had that. Because of my early life, I trained myself never to be committed to anybody. And so I did love her, but I ended up breaking her heart and my son's heart, and I did a lot of damage. Not because I ever chose evil, but because I didn't choose the best. And that hit me. Because he said, a lot of the moral battle in life, it's not good versus evil. If Satan appeared, I'm pretty sure I'd say no. The trick in morality is not distinguishing good from evil. It's when you have to choose good, better, and best. And the parables today is the kingdom of God is like a people who always choose the best. Now, one of my annoyances with the United States is that we train people, don't seek the best. You're good enough. You're fine just the way you are. What kind of coach ever says to their, athletes, just come, you don't try too hard. Just cross the finish line. No, you want them to say, give it your all. Try for the best. Academically, I'm sorry. You don't want to say what's good enough. You want to train the next generation to seek the very best. Athletically, intellectually, and most of all, spiritually. You want to not just say good or better. We want to be people that seek the best. That's what the parables are really about. So think about the parable about the pearl of great price. The pearl of great price is that I like this one. There's a lot of fine pearls in the world. There's a lot of fine pearls. They're good things. But once you discover the pearl of great price, the really great pearl, you'll sell all the little pearls for the thing that really is of great value. Now, it seems like an easy parable, but the point being is that you're not going to settle for good. You're going to go for what's best spiritually. Or the parable of the buried treasure. You find this buried treasure, and you go and you sell everything you have, and you buy that plot of land because you know within it is a precious treasure. And the point of that parable is that a lot of people are going to think you're crazy. Why would you sell everything for this? Because there's something of real value there. So I think the same thing is true. A lot of people, I think it's crazy just to try and aim for the best. I'm not saying you have to be the best. I'm saying you have to desire the best. St. Augustine is right. Most people, they'll keep lowering the bar. And the problem is that you keep lowering the bar. Like St. Augustine, at the end of your life, you may really regret that you didn't seek what was best. The kingdom of God is like people who seek the best. And the first reading is from Solomon, and it has kind of the same point. So Solomon, he's just made king, right? He's a very young man, and God comes to him in a dream. And God says, I'll give you whatever you want. What do you want the most? And Solomon makes this wise choice. He chooses wisdom. Technically, in the Hebrew, what it says in Hebrew is a listening heart, that he'll listen to God and other people. It's really quite beautiful. That's what he starts off his life as, of wanting the best, to listen, to be able to hear people and hear and obey God. And it's kind of a sad story because that's how he starts off. And then if you know the rest of the story of Solomon, he starts off wanting the best. And then he just goes for better. And then he just goes for good. And then the real shocking part is Solomon, at the height of his power, he's not even good. He's terrible. Because there's certain things God said for the king of Israel not to do. Solomon breaks them all. He says, don't marry. Don't have multiple marriages. He had more than one. He had several hundred, which divided his heart. I just think that's a little tough, but, who am I to judge? Several marriages. You're not supposed to sell people. You're not supposed to get into slavery. Do not go the way of Egypt. Egypt had slaves. You come from slaves. Solomon discovers he can make a lot of money off slaves. So he becomes a slave dealer. Or then in Armageddon, Megiddo, he discovers he can make a lot of money being an arms dealer. And once again, God said, don't do that. Don't go the way of Egypt and be making profit on arms. And Solomon becomes fabulously wealthy, so wealthy that it says that he has, per year, 666 talents of gold per year. 666, in case you didn't know, is a very bad number. It means things have gone horrible. So it's a really sad story where he starts off early as a young man desiring the best. But then he takes his kind of eyes off the prize and settles for better than good, and then really anything. And then, here's the shocking part. And he claims to be a faithful king of God. He claims to be faithful, but none of his real deep desires are for what's best. And the kingdom ends up in a civil war. He ruins everything. And this sounds strange. I think the kingdom of God is like people who watch themselves, that they're always choosing the best. So, I know this sounds kind of strange. With Augustine, it still resonates in me. I always see kind of morality between good, better, and best. So, 9 months I was the, priest at the University of Idaho. I really wasn't very good. But these kids would come to me and they would challenge. And they'd say, well, what's wrong with me and my girlfriend shacking up? And I'd always use an Augustine example. And then tell them the rest of your life will always be this contest. Not between good and evil, but good, better, and best. And people, they lose their heart and they don't see it that way anymore. Even I'm afraid I'll be the same way. So one of my prayers is, God, watch me, because I do not trust Len McMillan. I know him. That's actually a prayer from St. Philip Neri. He was Italian. And he used to say, and I think this is funny, Lord, keep your eye on Philip Neri, because I know that guy. I think that's funny. But I know me. I could let go. I want to seek the absolute best in life. And I'll give you an example. So this week, I have to tell you, every single day this week, I got a complaint that I'm requiring masks at church. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but it's the law. You might not like it. I don't like wearing masks, but it's the law. So I got that from the country western station. I love country music. And the DJ says, oh, yeah, I know, you don't like wearing seatbelts, but it's the law. You don't like wearing masks? It's the law. So every day this week I got a complaint. And one guy came to me because he was upset about wearing masks, because not all the churches in this area are demanding people wear masks. So this one guy, this shocked me. He said, I am leaving the Catholic Church. I am tired of your ridiculousness demanding people wear masks. So he's leaving the Catholic Church. And I said, wow, I know this sounds strange. I said, wow. So let me get this right. Over 2,000 years, the Catholic Church has known periods of persecution. For the first 300 years, we were persecuted, slaughtered, burned at the stake. The Irish, under the Troubles, you couldn't burn or torture the faith out of them. They'd go and meet in mass in Das Hinterlands, in the fields. You could survive, Maximilian Kolbe could survive the Nazis, not give up his faith, but you fold under a little bit of cloth around your face for 1 hour a day. That's how strong. You are choosing not to wear a mask over Christ. That's what you're telling me. What's more important, the mask or Christ? And I know I'm kind of a mean person, just to let that out. So he said, Christ said in the gospel, you show loyalty to me and I will be loyal to you. You not loyal to me and I won't be loyal to you. Now, I know I'm kind of mean on the guy, but think about this. I know this sounds kind of strange. I admire him for this reason. I like the fact that he's independent. That's a small pearl. I think people need to be independent, especially 18-year-olds. I think stubbornness is a virtue. I really do. I don't think you should fold easily. Stubbornness is a small pearl. Does that make sense? But the really big pearl is Christ and love of other people, trying to protect other people's life. That's a big pearl. You're telling me you won't sell these little pearls not even permanently, just sell them for a while, independence and stubbornness for the really big pearl of Christ. A lot of people, it's like Solomon. You start moving downhill and you're lost. So Christ gives these parables. What is the kingdom of God like? The kingdom of God is like people who know what's most important and never give it up. They don't sacrifice the best for just being good. And so together, let us stand and profess our faith.